Those who saw needs before they became needs. And those who addressed problems before they became problems. Men and women with drive. Men and women with passion. Men and women with vision. Men and women like you. You are all here because you are thinking about tomorrow. And that, my friends, means you are halfway there. For many thoughts of tomorrow do not matter in the present. But I say to you, what is sad existence that must be. I am proud that tomorrow matters to you. I am proud to see that 2 years following the birth of the Independent Liberal Party, you have stayed the course. The task before us is not an easy one. We have a general election to fight. In 2013, 102,918 of you decided that the other two parties were not viable options. Out of that number, a great many came from right here in Togo, Sangre. That's right. Many of you believed then and believe now in a better tomorrow. My dear friends, 2013 was not a loss, and because of your support, the ILP won in many regards. A big win for us was Mr. Dane Francois being elected an alderman in the Togo Grande Regional Corporation. To Dane, you pledged unwavering support, and tonight we must reaffirm that support. We must renew that mandate. We must prepare for what is the ILP's biggest battle yet, General Election 2015. Tonight, brothers and sisters, the ILP offers to you once more our soldier, Dane Francois, but this time in the capacity of Member of Parliament for Togo Sangre Grande. Dane, Dane was born to serve, as he has been doing so for the people of Togo Sangre Grande since 2013 and even before that. Early morning, late night, working assiduously to secure your interests, Dane Francois is ready to enter Parliament on your behalf. I tell you this because the ILP is not here to sell you a dream. We are not here expecting your blind loyalty. We are not here on a high horse thinking that we are somehow entitled to your support. What we offer is reality. We offer facts. Just like you, we have a dream for Togo Sangre Grande. There is power in numbers. So if you share the same dream, then we are brothers, we are sisters, regardless of the color of our skin, the texture of our hair, where we come from, or the God we pray to. Our dream is the common thread that binds us. This will be the binding force to mobilize us in this critical election season. But why is Dane Francois the best man for the job? Well, I have to ask you, why isn't he? Dane Francois is no Johnny-come-lately. He is presently an alderman, of course, in the Sangre Grande Regional Corporation, and he's a former councillor for for Sangre Grande Northwest. He holds a Bachelor's of Arts in Theology and a Master's in Criminal Justice, and is presently pursuing postgraduate studies. He is a radio talk show host, and might I add, he or one of the best radio talk show hosts. Yeah. and he is the Policy and Strategy Officer of the ILP. He is responsible for a considerable amount of development in Robinson Lane and Damery Hill, including improvements to the roads, provision of water and electricity. While studying, Mr. Francois provided uniforms and sporting equipment for various teams in our area, and he remains very active in community affairs. I am here this evening to endorse Mr. Dave Francois as the next Member of Parliament for Toko Sangre. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to do the same. He is a man of substance, a man of truth, a man of integrity, a man who will get the job done. Like you, Dave Francois has a vision for Toko Sangre Grande. Like you, he is ahead of his time. Like you, he prefers to plan for tomorrow rather than sitting idly by, hoping it turns out to be bright. It is this kind of lackadaisical thinking that has us in the situation that we are in today. I say it again, brothers and sisters. We are not asking for blind loyalty. We are asking you to stand with us, to stand with Dave Francois side by side. Now this is a real partnership. Standing before you this evening, I must say that we in Toko Sangre Grande are a blessed people. We are well represented in sports, music, arts, and culture, you name it. However, sadly, the large majority of us remain economically distressed. This forms the bedrock of the ILP's dream for this area. We want this part of Trinidad and Tobago to flourish, to prosper, to be a model constituency. Where does Dave Francois fit into this dream? The answer is simple. If you allow him, his voice will be your voice. You already share the same vision. What you need now is someone strong, someone to ensure that your interests are secured. This evening, we renewed that mandate we made so fearlessly in 2013. We renew that pledge. General election 2015 is our forum to let the existing powers know that they are not entitled to our vote. It is our chance to let them know that we are open-minded and we are fair. We are willing to accept those with clean hands and clean hearts. Dave Francois is such a man. I thank you once more, brothers and sisters, for staying the course with the ILP. Offering your support to our brother, Dave Francois, takes us one step closer to a Toko Sangre Grande of which we can be proud, and one step closer to a Trinidad and Tobago that is fit for our children. I thank you.
Thrilled and excited. I am lost for words. But let me first of all recognize the head table, recognize Mr. Warner, our political leader, and our chairman. They are supposed to be on their way. Good, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, tonight reminds me of a very, very special night. I would like to take a minute and share that with you. Recently, the ILP, the executives, we changed our shirts. So we have now a lighter green. Before that new edition, we now wear this green. But before that, when the ILP was being formed, we wore this green. And the reason I'm taking the time to mention that to you is that of all the shirts that I will wear for the ILP, and I will wear a lot, there is no shirt that will be as special to me as this shirt.
Yeah.
You see, it was that day that just like you are doing tonight, just like you are doing tonight, I decided that I need to stand up with Mr. Warner. And this is the shirt that I wore when I walked on the stage and publicly declared my allegiance and my commitment to Mr. Warner and the ILP. And so, despite having all the new editions, I wanted to wear this tonight for this special occasion. Because like then was a special occasion, tonight is also a very, very, very special occasion.
Yes.
My friend and my brother, with whom I have worked for a year and a half, I see him from as early as 5:30 in the morning. He's not that good looking at that time. You take some. And we go through planning the shows outside in a table like this, a round table with some concrete benches. And this, despite the fact that it's not the most comfortable and it's not the most expensive place, we share a very, very, very special relationship, a bond and a brotherhood. And I wouldn't miss this here tonight for the world. And so like Crystal, I want to join and agree with everything that she has had to say. For so many years, you have voted one party and the other. At the end of the 5-year period, when you ask yourself, from whence we started, 2010, to 2015, how has my life changed in Sangre Grande? What better future does my children now face from 2010 to 2015? How has the situation in the community? Just recently we were discussing, someone was shot in their gallery. And so it continues that you go 5 years with one representative who sees about themselves, and 5 years with another one who will see about themselves. Tonight, in my heart of hearts, I say to you, the best man for the job is right here. And so, on this historic and momentous occasion, my friend, he knows that this is my favorite book. And so I must read something from this book for you that will prepare. I think it won't be long, but it's interesting, and there's a lot of meaning to it. So listen for a moment. A goose who was plucking grass upon a common thought herself affront by a horse who fell near her, and in hissing accents she addressed him. I am certainly a more noble and perfect animal than you, for the whole range and extent of your faculties is confined to one element. I can walk upon the ground as well as you. I have wings with which I can rise myself in the air. And when I am pleased, I can swim on the ponds and lakes and refresh myself in the cool waters. I enjoy the different powers of a bird, a fish, and a quadruped. The horse, snorting somewhat disdainfully, replied, "It is true, you inhabit 3 elements, but you make no very distinguished figure in any one of them. You fly indeed, but your flight is so heavy and clumsy that you have no right to put yourself on the level with the lark or the swallow. You can swim on the surface of the waters, but you cannot live in them as the fishes do. You cannot find your food in the elements, nor glide smoothly along the bottom of the waves. And when you walk, or rather waddle, upon the ground, with your broad feet and your long neck stretched out, hissing at everyone who passes by, you bring yourself ridicule of all your beholders. I, said the horse, I confess that I am only formed to move upon the ground. But how graceful is my weight, how well tuned my limbs, how highly finished my whole body, how great my strength, how astonishing my speed. I had much rather be confined to one element and be admired in that than be a goose in all. You have had representation by the goose before. They couldn't fly, they couldn't walk good, they couldn't swim. Tonight, we present to you a true thoroughbred. We present to you Dane Francois.
Yes, let's have a...
Good night to Mr. Warner, the leader of the ILP. Good night to our candidate for Togo Grande, Mr. Dane Francois. Good night to all of you beautiful people out there. You braved the weather and you came out. Thank you. It is indeed the dawn of a new era. It is the dawn of a new day. All things have passed away, and behold, all things have become new. And though the embers may still be smoldering, but the building is crumbling. What will rise from the ashes is what you desire for yourself. What will rise from the ashes is what you want to see in your nation. If you want to see good things for yourself and for your nation, good things will rise. If you want corruption to continue, it definitely will. We in the ILP, we want to live in a corruption-free environment.
Yes.
And that is why we have decided, we have selected, we have given Mr. Francois that mandate. You see, ladies and gentlemen, long before we ever suspected that something was amiss with this government, Mr. Francois walked out of the corporation. Long before we ever thought that something resembling marijuana will be found on the compound of our Prime Minister, Mr. Francois said, I'm smelling a rat. Something is not right. And he left his job. He called me that day and he said, Leans, I can't take it, girl. I go in by Mr. Warner. He formed a new party. I said, count me in. You see, ladies and gentlemen, when something is wrong, it could never be right. No matter how you try to cover it up, it will come to light one day. And what Mr. Warner did today brought just a part, as he said, the tip of the iceberg to the light. Dane, I wish you God's blessings.
Yes.
I wish you success, overwhelming victory on September 7th. I want you to continue to inspire and uplift the youths in our nation especially. And may God's grace and mercy flow over all of you for all eternity. And I will say amen.